In our Unstuck series, we've been looking at the biblical foundations of the 12 steps as a sort of scaffolding for your spiritual growth, because the 12 steps are a language many people in our culture are familiar with, and it emphasizes repentance, surrender, confession, asking for forgiveness, making amends, making a habit of meditation, serving others, and many, many more biblical principles. And this weekend, we're going to look at step 6, which is we are entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. Now, I love that wording, entirely ready, because a lot of times I'm kind of ready, partly ready, but I need to be entirely ready. And you find this wording in the book of Acts when it talks about Paul preaching the gospel to the Bereans. Now, the Bereans were more noble than those in Thessalonica, for they were entirely ready and welcomed the message, examining the scriptures daily to see if what Paul said was true. So you see, they're being entirely ready. That doesn't mean gullible. It means being receptive. In fact, other translations render the same word open-minded or with great eagerness. Being entirely ready, that means being willing to turn away from every evil thing in my life. It means being willing to say, I am wrong. It means that instead of listening only for what I want to hear, I listen for what I know I need to hear. So this is not a joke. I heard a pastor talk about how he preached a sermon against gossip. There was a specific woman in his congregation who delighted in gossiping about others, and he kind of had her in mind. She did not know that the pastor had written the sermon kind of with her specifically in mind. And at the end of the service, she came up and said to the pastor, "That was an excellent message, Pastor. A lot of people in this church need to hear that." And the pastor said she wasn't being sarcastic or hypocritical. She just didn't get the message. She didn't have that open mind. The mind that was entirely ready to receive a message of grace and help from God. And here's how you and I can apply this today. This weekend at TLC, we have a great guest speaker, John Ortberg, speaking on steps 6 and 7 as we continue our series, Unstuck. John wrote a book about this called Steps. And then after the 11 a.m. service, John's going to be leading a recovery seminar. More details about that at tlc.org/recovery. So my question is, can you come to church this weekend entirely ready? Meaning with an open mind, an open heart, great eagerness to receive what God has for you. Entirely ready to have God remove whatever needs to be removed from your life. I suggest praying this prayer throughout the day, today and tomorrow, as you prepare yourself for the weekend church services. Pray, God, I am entirely ready. God, I am entirely ready. Then come with an open mind. Come with eagerness like the Bereans to see whatever God has for you. And by the way, that's a really good prayer for any day, right? God, I'm entirely ready for whatever opportunity you have for me today. My mind, my eyes, my heart are open for whatever opportunity you put in my way today. And then you just wait and see what God has to teach you, what God has to give you. Hey, also this weekend, Hot Rods on the Green. That's tomorrow, one of the biggest classic car shows in the county this summer. The whole church parking lot will be filled with the coolest classic cars. For kids, we're going to have the big wheel races. There will be food. There will be music, too. It'll be a great way to hang out with your friends. Invite people to our church. Details at tlc.org/Kingsman. That is tomorrow, Saturday at TLC.